oh my, in this story we have a lot of words that are big words. That's one of the beauties of Mark Twain. He uses some really great words, but some of them are a little unfamiliar to us. Even after the vocabulary that we've already worked on, there are still probably a few words that you didn't quite understand. I want to show you some ways to figure out the meanings of words like that. And one thing we want to talk about today is decoding these by using word parts. Breaking these words into parts and seeing if you can figure out what they mean. For example, now some of us were left disconsolate. We could not get on the river. At least our parents would not let us. Disconsolate might be a word you don't quite understand the meaning of. Can you break it apart into parts and see if that helps? For example, we know that it's an adjective. Do you see console in that word? Console? Now you probably know what console means, don't you? Disconsolate means dejected or gloomy, unsatisfied, unfulfilled. Console means comforted, cheered, and supported. So if you know what console means, if you console a friend who's had a bad day, you cheer them up, you comfort them, then disconsolate means unconsoled or sad, unhappy, unfulfilled. See how you could figure that out just from the context? What about this word? I moved back a step or two and stood as in a dream, all my senses stupefied by this frantic assault. Stupefied might be a word you don't quite recognize at first, but let's see if we can break it apart. You see a word in stupefied that you understand? It means dazed or stunned, confused, but what if you took out stupor from stupefied? Do you know what stupor means? You went around in a stupor, kind of a daze, a little bit of a shock. And if you know what stupor means, then you might understand what stupefied means. See how that can help you understand that word? He was a thoroughly inoffensive boy, and I was sorry to see him come, for I knew Brown would have no pity on him. Inoffensive might be a word that you might struggle with a little bit. Let's see if there are other words inside of it that might help us understand it. Do you see offensive in inoffensive? And you know what offensive means. I'm going to put both of these up. Kind of aggressive or unpleasant. An offensive person might be an unpleasant person. So an inoffensive person would be one that is harmless, that is mild. What about this one? Brown glared at me in unaffected surprise. For as much as a moment he was entirely speechless. Unaffected. Now what does that mean? Unaffected. Do you see the word affected in that word? This is a little bit different use of the word affect and unaffected. So let's see if we can figure out what it means. It means genuine or frank, open, just open surprise. If we know that affected means pretended or unnatural, exaggerated. He affected a happy smile even though he was very sad inside. He pretended. And so unaffected means no pretense at all. He was just frankly shocked, surprised at this behavior. Let's do some work now finding the meaning of vocabulary words by using word parts.